number 3. Australia are moving on in first place.
This Belgium squad can hang their head high. FIBA 2022 World Cup competition continues here in beautiful Sydney, Australia. Welcome inside the Sydney Superdome. You're getting set for Belgium taking on Australia. We are in the knockout round, and this is the last quarterfinals matchup of the day. The winner gets a date with China in the semifinals. I'm Despina Barton, my partner Andrew Gaze, a 5-time Olympian, FIBA Hall of Famer. You name it, he's done it. And we're getting set to see your home Opals, the host nation, go toe-to-toe with Belgium. What can we expect here?
Well, we can expect a tough battle. This Belgium team, I suspect that they're feeling loose about their prospects. I don't feel like they've got a whole lot of pressure, particularly when they've lost their superstar, Emma Miesemann, who did that calf injury, and she's out for the remainder of the tournament. She's a superstar, and she won't be there, so that will provide some relief for the Opals. But they're going to have their hands full. This is a tall team, an athletic team, and a team that's tasted success in recent times in international basketball.
Now, these two teams are meeting for the first time in World Cup competition, but they clashed in Japan and Tokyo in the preliminary round, and it was Belgium that had the advantage. Now, granted, they had a 32-point performance from Miesemann, so things look different this go-around.
They did, and they had a bit more scoring as well. They had Kim Mester, who also was averaging 14 points a game. She retired, coach's daughter, by the way, so maybe that may have had something to do with it. But it is a slightly different looking team than what they had 12 months ago, and that heartbreaking loss they had to Japan. This was deemed the redemption tour for Belgium to try and overcome that heartbreak from last year, but it hasn't panned out for them. But still, their tournament is alive, and they do have a chance against an Opals team that seems to have gotten better throughout the course of the season. A week ago, it was torment when they lost by 14 to France, but they've been able to make some adjustments, and they're playing some really good basketball at the right time of the tournament.
And for the Opals, too, they saw Beck Allen go out earlier this competition with some bruised ribs. Now, no structural damage. She is suited up and dressed to play today, but I'm being told she's still a game-time decision.
Yeah, and I think that's wise. My understanding that she was going to warm up, see how she felt, and who knows? They may actually turn around and start it, because it might be one of those things that if you're going to get something out of it, you better start testing her early rather than warming up, sitting down, getting a little stiff, and then trying to go out there. That can be tough. But I don't know the extent of an injury. They've been very coy about how tough it is, but they did say that's one that if she plays, she's not going to do any more damage to the injury through the game. It's just how much pain she can tolerate with that injury to the ribs.
And we know when Beck Allen stops in her tracks on the court, it is serious, because she is so tough out there. Now, this Australian team walks in with 4 straight victories. They are feeling themselves. Mali, Serbia, Canada, Japan. They all set packing to land here in this quarterfinal.
Number 25, Lauren Jackson.
Lauren Jackson, you hear the huge roar for her, who's made a comeback after being on the sidelines, playing just spot minutes, I'd call it, but she's out there, she spreads the floor, she's knocked down a 3, I think, in every game she's played, so she can fill it up from the perimeter, and that cagey veteran experience that she brings to the table.
Now, please give us
in fact, her first 3-pointer in the opening match against France moved her up to the 3rd spot in all-time scoring in World Cup history. She went over that 600-point mark and potentially can keep going.
Well, that's right. She's only averaging 8 minutes a game, so she's well rested. And in that 8 minutes, she's pouring in almost 6 points a game.
And so Belgium here in Australia, the final game of the evening. USA, Canada, China, all victorious today in the quarterfinal matchups. The winner of this one will get to play China. What a treat.
They were special in that game against France. If you look at the final margin, 14-point margin, but it really was not a 14-point game. That was a 5-point ball game that just, in the end, France gave China everything they could have asked for and weren't able to get over the line, but China looked special.
The national anthem.
And before we get started, we'll pause down here for the national anthems and flag presentation.
And the national anthem of Australia.
The Australian team slated as the visitors today in their home arena as the two teams meet here at midcourt to exchange their country's gifts with one another.
Well, they might be visitors on the scorecard, but they're not visitors as far as the home court advantage. It's a big crowd. They have had restrictions on the capacity, but they've opened them up for the quarterfinals onwards, and in excess of 10,000 coming to watch this one. As we take a look at the officials, who've got a big challenge ahead of them.
Yeah, they got to call a clean game between two teams that are clawing to stick around here longer in the FIBA World Cup games. The winner here today will move ahead to the semifinals against China. And we'll take a look here at Beck Allen. You see her warming up. You see what her production looks like. What kind of role can you expect her to play today?
It's really hard to tell because it looked like a nasty injury that she sustained. But if she comes on, she's been a live wire, particularly on the offensive end. She's a good athlete. She's very versatile on the defensive end. And there's Sandy Brundello, who's got the job. She's been mixing up her starters a little bit as well. With Ezi Magbagor, she started, then she came off the bench, and I believe she's back in the starting lineup. Same with Mariana Tolo, who's come on and been a revelation. Really made a difference when she has been starting. And I think that there's a luxury that Sandy Brundello has, that she's got a number of options that she can choose from that have had some experience in the starting lineup so far.
On the flip side, Kiera Linskins has had a lot of time on the court and a lot of scoring pressure put on her shoulders with Misamon's exit. She's averaging nearly 21 minutes a game and nearly a double-double, 12.8 points and 8.2 rebounds for Belgium. They're led here by Valerie Demery, the head coach.
And Linskens is one that she's been really good on the offensive end, but she has shown a little bit of vulnerability on the defensive end and being in isolated situations. And you go back to 12 months ago, although Australia lost in that Tokyo Olympics, what she did do is Ezzy had a way with them. She ended up with 20 points and 8 boards, and it's tough. She's a tough matchup for anyone, but with the bigger girls for Belgium, they don't quite have the same lateral movement as some of the other bigger girls on other teams.
Here's a look at the starting 5 for the Opals. Talbot Allen, she is in that starting lineup, as you suspected. Andrew Tolu, Blitzabs, and Sammy Whitcomb, the calming force, with Whitcomb at the guard and facilitator position. McMagor, too.
And what they lose with this starting lineup is a little bit of offense with Sarah Blitzabs coming in. She's a rebounder, she's an elite defender, but doesn't have the same scoring punch as someone like Beck Allen.
Yeah, my apologies there, Magbagor. Beck Allen is not in the starting lineup for the Opals here today. Meanwhile, on the Belgium side of things, they're going to stick with some consistency. Delara Linskens, Becky Messi will get her first start of the tournament. And then we see Julie Van Loo and Julie Aleman, those two working in the backcourt. And even though Misaman has been injured and away from the team, she's been in the locker room at every practice, having her voice there. She is still the captain of the Belgian Cats. And so she intends to fulfill that responsibility throughout this tournament.
Both these teams have been good scoring teams throughout the course of the tournament. Australia, they're the number 3 scoring team at 78 points. And Belgium, despite some of their woes along the way, they've been good enough to put in almost 73 points a game. So that's what I'm talking about when you look at this team and this matchup for Australia. It's one that they need to play well. The ping pong ball's coming out of the pot. This would not have been their choice to play in this game. They would have much preferred to be taking on Puerto Rico, but that's not the way it panned out. So it's going to be some nervous times, I feel, for the Opals, and getting a good start to alleviate some of that pressure is going to be important for them.
And for Australia, this is their 16th World Cup appearance. They won it all in 2006. In fact, that team was inducted into the Hall of Fame at a luncheon yesterday. They won silver in 2018 behind the Americans. And of course, here's Sandy Brondello sharing a last-minute message before jump ball.
Only pass it to Sammy, she's wide open. Steph, good lead here. Tolo, really good screen here. Try and go high if you can. Read it. If you have to go under, that's fine. Down screen is. Sammy, if you got a shot, take it. If not, remember, Talbot's coming in. She comes off here, they switch it. Ezzy, you're behind. We're posting up Talbot. Okay, come on, let's go.
Well, you heard the play. If they get the tip or their first possession, they're looking at a post-up action for Steph Talbot.
And Coach Valerie Demery hyped up in his huddle as well. This Belgian team is making their second FIBA World Cup quarterfinal appearance and as many appearances in the tournament in total. And they have 6 on this roster from their Olympic squad that fell to Japan in those quarterfinals by 1. Meanwhile, the Opals, too, they have 7 on their roster from their Olympic team.
Yeah, there's been some changes for both these lineups, but some of the familiar faces are still there and the important faces are there.
Quarterfinals action. Are you ready? If you are, make some noise! I knew you'd
So it's win or go home. Tip ball goes to Belgium. The final quarterfinal of the day. Andrew Gaze, Despina Barton. The winner of this one gets to square off with China in the semis tomorrow. Becky Messi skipping, open look corner shot, it's down. Delara drains it.
Great start, good set. Everyone gets a touch. You can see what they're going to do with Van Loo. She's been really good throughout the tournament with 12 points. She came off that on ball. Immediately, Australia go to a double team.
Screening, beautiful take. Tolo with the contact, able to stay focused. Aleman with the rock. Will pull it up on the free throw line. Won't go down. Wickham no look pass to Tolo. At least it was intended that way.
And Sammy Wickham, she has really stepped up for the Opals, averaging 27 minutes a game, logging some serious minutes, but she's so versatile. She spends a lot of the time at the one spot, but can shoot it. In fact, averaging 12 points a game. And a lot of people think that that's her better spot, is in the two-guard position, where she can let it fly from the perimeter.
Van Loo, corner shot. It's in! Back-to-back big ones for the home Aussies. Or excuse me, the Belgians.
Yeah. She has been really good from the three-point line. And the reason for that, a lot of the reason for it is very rarely do you see she very rarely takes a bad three-point field goal attempt.
Wickham working here on the block. It's good this time. Sarah Blitzabs is on the board. Delara, Messi going to work right at Talbot. She'll clear her.
Nice.
It drops.
I like it. Go at Talbot. Talbot is an elite defender. And why not trying to exploit your size down low? Oh,
that
dear.
pass intended for Magmador out. Alamon interrupts. Another takeaway for Belgium. Off the screen from Linskins, it's short. Wickham down the lane, clears it to Magmagor. Tolo back on the block, look is good, it's awkward, but it's in. Sarah Blitzabs.
Good job by Tolo to find her.
A little high-low. Messi kicks it. Gets it back, baseline. It's deflected. It stays. Hands by Magmagor for the block.
She's been superb throughout the tournament. In that block shot, had 5 in one game already.
Alamon with 2 to shoot. It's a very deep 3 ball that won't go down. Wickham was the captain of this Opal squad at the Asia Cup, and that's probably why able to feed Mariana Tolo.
That was a beautiful pass and well read. Sometimes you get caught up in going at pace, but it was a slow action, a slow dive to the basket, but that helped.
Van Loo on the curl, off back rim, big pull down by the Opals. Right at Belgium. This one again, Sarah Blitzabs.
Well, that's the problem with Linskins out there. That's a couple of times whoever she's guarding got a license to penetrate, and she has trouble keeping players in front.
With that shot, Australia took the lead.
Oh,
Linskens is on the floor. Loose ball. Tolo gets stripped. Cats are moving.
Sarah Blickav's there, just a little overzealous on the ball pressure. And here we see Sarah Blickav's, and when you're going at Linskens down there, you see how she's in the position but just doesn't slide her feet and allows Blitzav's to go right by her.
Van Loo drawing the 2 escapes. Corner shot, Messi. Off.
And that's a risk you take. You saw McBagor had to go deep to help out.
Meanwhile, the Opals keep driving down the lane. High-low, Blitzav's misses. Delara, hard off the glass, the putback. Linskens tries, and no, the Opals cover. Wickham, ooh, knocked around there. Blitzovs and the team will reset. Wickham pull up 3, goes down. This team and their fans go nuts. Van Loo, wow, nearly loses her handle. Delara taking the baseline, a kick. Van Loo's waiting for it, top of the key.
The gamble coming off Van Loo, but you saw the versatility of Steph Talbot on that last possession, how she can slide her feet, keep the point guards in front.
Wickham, Tolo, the magical combination. Australia up by 7.
Wickham is doing a masterful job of running this team, finding her opponents, and when called upon and she can call her own number, she's knocked it down.
Steph Talbot working off the screen. She'll keep going at it. Tolo's waiting. Mid-range is dropping. And that right there is going to force Belgium to take a timeout. They're down by 9.
Well, they are, and it's just been an offensive onslaught. 8 of 10 from the field, and wide open looks like that. And compared to Belgium down the other end, every shot a lot of shots contested, and they've been 3 of 14. They can't find the bottom of the net, and they're only shooting at a 21%. I don't know what he's talking about because I can't provide the translation for you, but what I suspect he'd need to be focusing in on is what's going on the defensive end. Yeah, they've got their problems, 3 of 14 on the offensive end, but the ease at which they're getting, the Opals are being able to get these shots off. Either coming off the on-ball, late help comes, or you're fighting over it and you're not able to get there, and then on the pick and pops or the pick and rolls, they're getting wide open as well, so they're getting beaten both ways and just not enough ball pressure. You compare the intensity that Belgium's dishing up in this one compared to what we saw the game prior with China and France. It's well below what we've seen and where it needs to be.
Aliman driving right, finds a clear lane, lay-in on the left. So quick answer for Belgium out of the timeout. A takeaway here. The feed to Aliman. She's racing to the left side of the court and draws the foul.
Taylor George thought she might have got away with a sneaky one. She did it well, actually. She camouflaged it real well. But when you're in the open court and it's that wide open, you didn't quite see it from that angle, but the left hand just gave a little shove in the back to Aliman, and she works her way to the free throw line.
Aliman was a breakout star in the 2018 World Cup. She plays with the Chicago Sky in the WNBA and then some. 1 for 2. Talbot, spin, takes on the right. What a beautiful finish, Steph Talbot. And Ben Abdelkader is in, the sharpshooter for Belgium. They talked about their keys before this game. 1 was owning the boards. 2 was showcasing their quickness on D, and 3 was hit the threes. They will live and die in the 3 ball. That's just their game.
They've been good right throughout the tournament. The way in which they execute on these pick and rolls. Here you see it again, just a spin and attacking move by Talbot. You go underneath that, she gets a running start at it, and defensively, the key there is to try and keep them going one way. The fact when they spin like that, that's really hard. You can see the excitement and the passion on the bench. You're going to see it from both teams because it's win or ta-da, you're going home.
Both go down for Kayla George off the bench. Pushes her lead out for the home Opals to 10. 2:24 to play here in the first quarter. Ben Abdelkader, she'll stroke it from the free throw line.
Well, she's got a very specific role. Whenever she's come on, she's instant offense for them, and that's what she does. And no secret when the ball's in her hands what her first, second priority is going to be, and that is to try and score.
Jackson, her role too is to score. She does it. A 3 right off the bench. She's got one in every single game here in Sydney.
Beck Allen is trying her hardest, but she is grimacing almost every step she's taking. She's clearly in a level of discomfort, but is trying to push through.
Imagine waiting for someone to stop her. The feed intended for George. I don't know how it gets to her. Yes, Beck Allen out there with bruised ribs. She's got Delara and a traveling call.
Little shuffle of the feet, drag into the pivot foot. And just quick minutes for Beck Allen to give her a taste of it and give her a chance to test it.
Christy Wallace subs her out.
Just the 3 minutes for Beck Allen.
Jackson. Back to Wallace, working around the horn. Whitcomb pull up 3, triggers fast. A miss. Big board by Linskins. Ben Abdelkader trying to work off that screen. The feed to Linskin, she's left open. Rolls in.
That's a breakdown somewhere. Lauren Jackson leaks out.
The oldest woman on the court.
Well, that's right. She was on Linskins and she came out and with a double team and she didn't bother going in and she leaked out, and Linskins and her teammates weren't able to give Linskins a hand.
Lissoa, hard take. She'll get to shoot 2.
There you see it. Whitcomb, not a lot of doubt about that one either. Clearly a push.
Lissoa's averaged 6 points, 4.8 rebounds for Belgium throughout the tournament. just 21 years old. Cuts the lead to 10 there. Wall is trying to settle the group. She wants the last shot of the quarter. And it goes to their star. No, a miss by Jackson, a recovery. Opals, one more. Fading away, nothing goes down. And after the first quarter of play, it is Australia up by 10. The Opals, 26-16.
Well, Belgium had a tough time of it at both ends of the floor. Giving up 26 points is too many. And at the other end, they weren't able to be all that efficient. Some real tough shots, 6 of 19, 32%. But white hot Australia, 11 of 17. Now, they are one of the better shooting teams, but just need to weather the storm. The ebbs and flows started off really nice for Belgium with Delata knocking down the 3 ball. Van Loo gets it going, but it was the constant and relentless pushing of the ball and attack. Blitzovs came in and gave some start of the game in really good minutes, scored a couple, and Whitcomb was just the conductor running a very, very nice orchestra and had all the instruments in harmony for a lot of that first quarter, and as such, I think Sandy Brondello would be really happy with that first quarter. And they got off to a little shaky start, down 4 early, but were able to regroup and get things going. And Lauren Jackson with yet another 3 ball.
And when I spoke to Australia before the contest, Andrew, one of the keys was, of course, to get out in front, start hot on offense, something they have not been able to put together throughout the tournament.
No, they haven't. And they've shown some great resilience to work their way out of some tricky situations. I think it was the game against Serbia in the first quarter. They might have got down double digits, but still were able to find a way to work their way back into it and ultimately win that contest. And they were super impressive against Canada.
Everybody had a day off yesterday. For the Opals, though, they hosted an alumni luncheon of sorts. A lot of older stars and, of course, members of the 2006 World Cup gold medal team. An inspirational luncheon.
Well, it was. Spoke to some of the girls, and it was very inspirational for them to be surrounded by greatness. And that team is going to be inducted into the Australian Basketball Hall of Fame. First team to be inducted.
Which happens to include Lauren Jackson, who is on the floor right now. Van Loo silencing the run here from Australia with a big 3. LeSoir picks up
oh dear
full court, and that one pays off. Linskins the feed right back. Van Loo dribble to the left to create a little bit more space.
Well, you know how I said she doesn't take bad shots? That was a bad one. She just hit one, and it was a bit of a heat check for her.
Jackson turns, shoot, fade away. And there's a foul called against Billy Messi. She's in shock.
Well, she might be in shock, but I think it was clearly a foul. A grab on the elbow. But I'm in shock at the contribution Lauren Jackson is making at 41 years of age, taking 7 years off, has a couple of kids and half a knee replaced. And here she is on the biggest stage in women's basketball, and not just performing, but performing to a level which I think very few thought she was capable of doing. Now, not lighting a lot of minutes, but they are high-quality minutes, and it's about the tone that she sets out there. She takes no backward steps and is a huge physical presence that provides a lot of confidence for her teammates.
This is her 5th World Cup appearance. Her kids, though, are in the stands this go-around, so it's a little extra special. Messi right at Jackson. You were talking about the physical presence. Right on cue. Whitcomb driving right. Lane is good. Lissawa on the other end, saving that ball. And Opals have it back. Talbot to Jackson, top of the key, steps through. Lissawa to Messi. Linskins, 3-ball. Only counts as a 2. She had her foot on the line.
Yeah, she's a little inside, but that's her strength. That's what she's out there for. She provides a good target down low, is a good passer, but that mid-range, she is one of the best.
Whitcomb, the feed to George. Beautiful execution on the high-low game. Van Loo, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Linskins, that one's poked out by Talbot.
Mariana Tolo coming in for a well-earned rest for Lauren Jackson. Again, another really high-quality short-minute performance by her. And Belgium having all sorts of problems of figuring out what they're supposed to be doing on the on-ball screens. If you're going to hard show like that, you need extreme ball pressure. There's got to be some weak side help.
Tolo left alone, she'll shoot it. It's off.
And I like what Belgium has done. They've decided to go small. They're playing really with 3 guards out there, and provides a little bit different look.
Van Loo, she'll let it fly right in the eye of Steph Talbot. A 3 from each side of the wing.
Sandy Brandolo would be really disappointed with that, because she wants to make her put it to the floor. She just caught it, looked at her in the eye, and rose up and shot it. She's too good a shooter to be doing that.
Australia here taking a timeout. They're still out in front by 7. 6:35 to play here in the second quarter.
Well, she might not be able to pronounce the names as well as what we can, but we understand what she was talking about, and when she was referring to the way in which they want to play Abdelkader, and she doesn't want to be going underneath those screens on her as either, or going under on Van Loo. But that last one, the defense was there. It just wasn't putting enough ball pressure on. Oh dear, enough ball pressure on.
So we're running with Belgium here after that turnover. Team 6th for Australia. Linskins, free throw look. Miss, Whitcomb covers.
Got away with one. That's where the weak side help, and that time Magdagor's got to come over and at least stunt.
Talbot will give it a go, and the stroke is good for Talbot. She's got 5 for the Opals.
Belgium just in a 2-3 zone the last couple of possessions, and wide open 3 like that will get you thinking about staying in it. Can't afford to do that against this Australian team.
Linskins trying to create. She's guarded tightly by Tolo, and she does. 2 down for Belgium the hard way.
Well, you know what they're in? They're actually in a box and one.
McMigor, last one to touch it. She'll get her own rebound.
They're in a box and one on Sammy Whitcomb. And as I said, she was enormous in that first quarter, the way in which she was running the team. So they're trying to take that away from the Opals.
Alamon to Linskins, right to the rack.
Gee.
And a foul handed over by McMigor.
It's a late call. I thought they were going to get away with it. And as we have been advised, that the officials have actually been instructed just to take your time on the calls, make sure you see it and see what happens. But there's zero doubt about that one. And the early signs, a box and one can be disruptive, but I don't know whether it's because of that or it might be just part of the rotations, but Sandy Brondello has actually taken Whitcomb out of the game.
Linskins hits both. She's got 8 points, 3 rebounds on the day in 13 minutes for the Cats. And we're midway through the second quarter. 8-point ball game. The host nation Australia up in front. McMigor. And she'll head to the free throw line to possibly earn the 2 that way.
Again, another late call. And with Whitcomb going out, they were in that box and one. That time they went to a 1-2-2. And as such, the weak side baseline person has to come right over to the rim when it's on the wing, because there's most zones are like 2-3, and you've got a built-in guy in the middle, person in the middle. But when you're in a 1-2-2, it's the opposite low guy that's come over and person that's got to come over. Excuse me, apologies. But it's just too late on that occasion.
She'll hit both and have 4 on the day. Van Loo off the screen from Messi. They'll roll it. She'll try to feed her. And the officials say it's off Belgium.
Messi was suggesting it might have come off the hip, but the officials didn't want anything of it.
And we will take a timeout here. Australia 38, Belgium 28. The Cats want to talk things over.
Si McMigor, s'il y a une fille à qui on a sur les shoots extérieurs, c'est McMigor. Ok? Donc quand elle est là, on peut rester en dessous d'elle en défense. Quand après, il va falloir la boxer au rebond parce qu'elle va y aller. Ok? Toujours fermé entre raquettes. Les filles, ne prenez pas des risques insensés. Becky roule bien dans le dos de ton défenseur pour qu'on puisse trouver cette passe-là. N'hésitez pas quand on va panier, annoncer un système, appliquer le système, ok? Allez, c'est bon.
You see Australia, Sammy Whitcomb, that's some of the stuff that she's been doing, the way in which she can find someone, and that's just a beautiful touch pass. Gets to the destination that she was looking for.
And it's the home Opals that find themselves up by 10. It is the quarterfinals here inside the Sydney Superdome. Win or go home.
Now they change it up again, and now, the last one when they're 2-3, now it's more just your 1-2-2. Now they're just in the traditional 2-3 zone. I like the look because they had all sorts of problems trying to guard them in a man-to-man.
Imagine lets it go down, and man, everyone's hitting from 3 for Australia.
Whether it's man or zone, you've got to be able to stop the penetration into the paint. And they weren't able to do that. The kick-out pass on. Wide open 3 to a really good shooter, Tess Madgen.
Messi with the screen. She rolls for it.
And they weren't able to do that. The kick-out pass on. Wide open three to a really good shooter. Tess Madgen.
Messi with the screen. She rolls for it. Nothing there. Alamand. Another miss. McMagor turns, trying to square up, hits a trailing Tolo, and that looked like a lot of fun for the Opals.
Yeah, Tolo, the veteran, both ends of the floor. Somewhat unassuming the way she goes about it, but she's up to 10 points.
Linskins working off the block, fouled from behind. Tolo picks up her first, the team's second.
That's Linskin's strength. You see, when you're just down one-on-one, just use her body to dribble it into her preferred spot, and Mariana Tolo forced a foul. She checks out of the game. I think it's hard, but when you're in that situation where it's a pick and roll, Linskin dives, that if she's got time like that, you almost have to force to send a double team. Trying to guard her just straight up one-on-one with whoever it is from the Opals, it's going to be a tough assignment.
Blistavs to Wallace. Lauren Jackson back on the floor for the Opals. Wallace left alone on the wing, too slow to get there. In fact, this Belgium team looks very tired, Andrew.
Well, that might be the reason why they were sticking in that zone, just to try and conserve some energy, but on the defensive end is not the place to conserve energy.
6 games now in the last 8 days for these two teams, and a drilling 3 by Messi is what was in order.
You heard or saw the coach yelling out. He's had enough of having a look at that zone defense. Back to man-to-man.
Blistavs pull up, jumper, misses. Jackson in there for the rebound. And this will go Belgium's way. And then a few extra words of clarification with the officials.
And the veteran does it in a respectful way to not get the official offside. And that's, I love the effort. Lauren Jackson just quietly going up, asking a question. Just a nice, respectful way. Nothing wrong with that.
That's what the confidence of a 41-year-old. You go right to the source.
She's seen it all. I reckon in her younger days, I'm not sure she'd have that level of restraint.
Alaman on the take to the hoop off the baseline. That works. We're under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Talbot kicks it. Jackson seeing nothing but glass. Jackson now with 8 points for Australia. Ben Abdelkader looking for some instant offense. Wickham. George, they're looking to kick it. Sammy drives, she'll take it out. And the feed, Talbot stays with it. One extra pass, George, the finisher.
That was brilliant, really well worked out. Belgium playing catch up, and the willingness for Australia to make the extra pass to come up with something really easy and cheap.
Delara turns, shoots. It's good. 30 seconds to go. Wickham. Head down, left to go up. And shorten her spot on the free throw line with that take.
Becky Massey, I think, was a little unlucky that time. Thinking who's drawing the contact. Lauren Jackson checks out for the last defensive possession. Again, some high-quality minutes from Lauren Jackson. 8 points, 3 of 5 from the field.
Seven points for Sammy Wickham to go along with 5 assists. Half of a second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Alaman driving the kick in the corner. Delara spotting up. Won't go. Nearly a walk here. George up in time. It's a miss. And folks, that's how the first quarter ends. It's Australia up by 15, 52-37, and they are halfway to securing their ticket to the FIBA World Cup semifinal.
Well, the offense was outstanding, shooting at 61% and putting 52 on the board. This Australian team's only been averaging, well, when I say only, it's third best, 78 points a game. So they're well above their average and on target to get a lot more than that. And the work they're doing on the glass, really strong advantage on the boards for Australia. Liskins and Tolo leading the way in the scoring department. And at the other end of the floor, it's been some tough assignments for Belgium with their offense. They've been held to 39%, and we take a look at some of the highlights in a lot of their plays. There was that double team, and they're doing that on they've identified a few of their players, and on that, the very next play, you saw Litskins make the layup. Lauren Jackson leaked out. Van Loo. We heard Sandy Brondello a little upset the way in which she was being guarding, as they should. 3 of 5 from the three-point line. All her 9 points coming from the three-point line. And it's been tough going. Belgium have given a bit of a head start, but as you mentioned, they look a little fatigued, and it's going to require every bit of energy for them to work out how to overcome this 15-point lead. They've given a nice, healthy start on the scoreboard. Australia confidence is high, and they've tried some different things to try and slow down the offense. They've looked at various zones, and ultimately, none of them really kicked in like they were hoping, and it's been Australia. Linskins has been solid. She's a tough cover and led the way. But it's Australia with a decent advantage at halftime.
And they've been able to share the ball too, Andrew. Everyone who stepped on the court has found a way to score for this home Australian squad.
Well, they've had 20 field goal makes, 20 of 33, and 16 of those have come from assists. So they're moving the ball, the penetration and the extra pass is getting rewarded.
And that's how the Opals like to play. All fired up because they've got the lead and they're doing some sparkling things on the floor. It's Australia up 52-37 here at the break. Valerie Demery's going to try and find a way to slow them down. We'll be back with more after this.
Who will you become when the moment arrives? And you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands. It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Okay, has Wallace, takes her one-on-one and hits it.
Her eyes light up when she plays against Australia. This is just a phenomenal performance.
little slippery at midcourt, going strong to the hoop. Holy smokes! And Juan Garantes! Help her up, she needs you. She's laying out everything for Puerto Rico.
Tavich, deep shot is good, folks. Goodness me, I thought, why did she shoot that 3.5 seconds?
5 seconds on the shot clock. She's nowhere near the basket, has to pull up from deep, and she hits it. It doesn't matter.
My goodness. She was in the car park on that shot.
Nice little turnover here. Defense feeding offense for the Opals. No look pass, George on the block, waiting for it, and it counts. Australia feeling themselves.
And Williams just goes hard to the basket, and that's gonna count, folks. So a three-point play opportunity for Gabby Williams.
Anderson surveying here. Will drive in a little left. There comes the double. Shot Joe throws it up. Oh, my goodness! For Serbia! Wow!
Now they're running. And what a fake pass, and then the pass to Lee Uiru. Beautiful tongue, little fake behind the pass. Nice, I love it.
Gray off the elbow, this time falling down, has a chance for a three-point play. Did you see that shimmy? A little shimmy on the way down.
Shaken out of it, a little crossover, and nice smooth action on the jump shot.
Oh, goodness me, Amy here says, get that out of here.
It's halftime. Welcome back inside the Sydney Superdome. Despina Barton, Andrew Gaze, and we're going to show you some of the best and top scorers here in the first half. Let's start with Mariana Tolo of the host nation Opals, 11 points. 10 points today. 11 is what she averages, shooting over 50%.
Yeah, and started off strong, a little flex cut. They find her. She positions herself so well. She plays with a really high basketball IQ. And on those on-ball screens, the diving action, that's a really passive switch that opens up those opportunities. And if you double team and you help out, really good around the basket, good touch around the basket, and is able to finish with those soft hands. And she does it in such an unassuming way. She doesn't do it and demand the ball and need a lot of shots to really contribute. She takes what's given and just reading the play so well.
And for Belgium, you've guessed it, Kiara Linskin's the top scorer, 10 points, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and showed us some action from the field goal range, but there's a lot of weight on her shoulders today. I can feel it.
It is. And she looks fatigued. She's really good on the offensive end. Mid-range, she's almost automatic. And when she gets it down low and has got time, she can, and there's that perimeter shot that she's really efficient at. And down low, she can just get to her spot. She's not in a hurry if she's just in a one-on-one situation. But it's down the other end of the floor is her problems, and they've got to figure out a way how to protect it because they need her offense, but she's had to expend a lot of energy on the defensive end and how she deals with those on-ball screens, and they're putting her in a lot of on-ball screens. And as you should. If you're any coach who's coaching against Belgium, try and get her in on-ball screens and make her guard people on the perimeter and slide her feet, and that's just not her strength. So it's up to Belgium to figure out a way to protect her in those circumstances.
And what do you think that looks like for Belgium here in the next half? They have 15 points to make up and then some. So, I mean, how do they begin to chip away at that?
Well, it starts with the energy they've got to provide, and that's on the defensive end. 52 points is too many against anyone, and in this one here, it's such an important game. You need a higher level of intensity on the ball. The way in which Australia have been able to pass out of those pick and roll situations, if you're going to show, you've got to have active hands to buy some time to get some protection on the roller, and that hasn't been there. You see Wickham coming in, it might be the extra dribble and the wraparound pass. You've got to find a way to keep them on the perimeter a little bit more. But they've been good. You do that on the perimeter, they're 5 and 9, but whatever it is, it's energy. And then on the offensive end, you're shooting at 39%, it's going to be tough to play catch up from there. So they've got to find something within their structure where they can get some easier opportunities. A lot of their shots have been pretty contested, and full credit to Australia. They've fought hard over the top of screens and sent their double teams when they can, and it's been effective.
Meanwhile, on the flip side, I'm sure Australia's planning of how they can create even more separation. We saw Beck Allen coming into the game for a few minutes. She's the one who went down with bruised ribs a couple of nights ago. But this team looking in a good position where they're not going to need a lot of Beck Allen.
No, and I think right now they'll be doing everything they can to be a little bit more conservative. There you see Julie Van Loo with her 9 points, 3 of 5, all of them coming from the three-point line. And we saw after she hit a couple, Australia had an instant timeout, and Sammy Blondello laid the law down how they want to guard her. And when you talk about how do you get them going, they've got to find ways to get Van Loo some looks. When she's been open, she's proven to be really efficient. And both teams doing a reasonable job of taking care of the ball. Belgium only with the 4 turnovers, Australia with the 6, and maybe they need to look to extend the defense a little bit more, be a little bit more harassing Belgium so they can try and get a few more transition options rather than always going down and have to play against an established defense.
We'll see what shakes out. 20 more minutes of play. The winner of this contest gets a semifinals date with China. They're one step closer to a medal. Lauren Jackson here competing in her 5th World Cup. We're in her home backyard, and she's shown us that she knows how to still be an impactful player. 8 points so far through the first half.
Yeah, she's a legend of world basketball, arguably, and in the conversation for the greatest ever. And we talked about that 2006 gold medal team. Her and Penny Taylor. Was that some type of extraordinary era of basketball that Australia was blessed to have with those 2 superstars playing alongside each other? And it's just an incredible achievement with Lauren Jackson and what she's been able to do here and abroad. In Europe, in the United States, in Asia. She's conquered all the major leagues in the world.
And you talked about it a little bit ago. She retired in 2016, had some knee care that needed to happen, had a couple of kids.
Well, the official retirement might have been 2016, but actually it might have been a little earlier than that as well. But you're right. Still a long period of time being out of the game. She's played in the Australian second division, the NBL 1 competition for the Albury Bandits, and just was phenomenal at that level, averaging over 30 a game. She was MVP of that NBL 1 league that she was in.
What determination and sacrifice to get your body back in this type of game at the age of 41.
Well, it's a love of the game. A love of the game, and clearly you've got to have some incredible skills, but at that age, it's also about your desire to put your body through the rigors of what it takes to play at this level.
So Australia in the Opals getting set to put the starting group that they led off with. Talbot, Magbegor, Tolo, Blitzabs, and Whitcomb on the floor.
Magbegor really been good on the board. She's got leaps away for Australia with the 6.
Let's see how Belgium answers. They knew coming into this game that they'd be the underdogs. With no Misaman, right? She hurt her calf. She's out for the rest of this tournament. She's their leading scorer. So they knew coming into this contest they'd have to play scrappy and make up for a lot of her efforts. Lissawa, Messi on the block, misses. Whitcomb intended to get that to Tolo. Just took an extra try and a foul. Van Loo's gonna pick up.
Van Loo put her in a bear hug as Whitcomb tried to run that little gets action where they throw it and then come off and come around for the handoff, and Van Loo determined not to let her get it on that occasion.
Whitcomb to Magbegor. And 2 back-to-back fouls from Belgium.
Wow, that was a soft one. Billy Massey. Seen all the contact we've seen throughout the course of the tournament. That is out of context for what we've seen so far in the tournament.
Now their ability to adjust. Talbot off the curl, misses. The box out is successful this time. And things getting called and chippy on both sides of the floor. Whitcomb now.
Yeah, Whitcomb trying to fight over the top of that pin down. And Van Loo got tangled up with her. One of those ones sometimes hard to know who's holding who. Whitcomb just harassing Van Loo wherever she goes on the court.
Messi draws the double. Block, Magbegor. Talbot pushing up court. High-low, Tolo can't handle. And Alma will try to create something here for the Cats. Messi, turnaround jumper.
If you're going to reel this lead in, you've got to find ways to put the ball in the hole. They haven't been able to do it. Neither team's been able to do with it, so it's 0-0 draw so far to start the third.
Magbegor. Messi smothering. She'll put up an attempt. Rebound, Blitzabs, misses. Julie Aleman, the 26-year-old point guard for the Belgian Cats. She'll get it back. Messi has to do something. 1 second on the shot clock. Whitcomb was worried they were going to call it out of bounds on her. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, I think it was coming off Messi anyway, but it was the shot clock that beat him. Another good defensive set by Australia.
So a stalemate here the first 2.5 minutes. No scoring from either team. Whitcomb getting crafty with the block.
Yeah, it was. And really closed that gap to not allow Wickham to thread that little slip pass. Magbegor coming out. Looks like Sandy Brondello spending some time with her on the sideline. Just to, rather than burning a timeout, just some specific instructions that she wanted to provide her. So she'll have a quick spell.
Talbot, the extra pass gets disrupted, but the Opals get another shot.
Still, you saw there with Talbot how deep they're getting on those on-ball screens, getting right into the paint.
Tolo, off the fingertips, keeps it alive. Fresh shot clock for the Opals. George, fadeaway jumper. That's a very difficult shot.
It is, and she's good at it. She doesn't have a lot of elevation on that shot, but she's got great hands and really good touch.
Van Loo, Wickham all over her. Breathing room on the wing, shot goes up.
Well, we saw Wickham do it on the offensive end in the first half, and now she's showing what she's got on the defensive end, making life real miserable for Van Loo.
Blitzabs driving left. She'll finish. Hard take there for Sarah Blitzabs. Spotted up, letting it fly. Rizimo.
Huh.
Getting back on D. George, same baseline shot, same result.
What about the pass? Beautiful outlet pass.
The lead out to 19. Excuse me, make that 21. Ballooned out the Opals.
Van Loo cannot change her mind without someone being there. You see how she's going around there, and they have a switch that Blitzabs gets on straight onto her, but is just as relentless. Van Loo comes out, gets some instructions, perhaps trying to find ways in which coach is telling her how she could free herself up, but it's tough. They're doing a good job of fighting over the top of screens.
Delara on the floor for her. That one is tipped. Blitzabs covered it. Tolo going to work. Linskins gets it on her. That's an and one. What a finish, Mariana Tolo.
Yeah, beautiful. Really good footwork and good hands, good touch around the basket, but it's the footwork. A little shake and bake, keeps the pivot foot down, and with the left.
13 points for Tolo today.
You don't want to get ahead of yourself, but this is encouraging. You think about tomorrow, less than 24 hours time, they've got to take on China. They can get some rest.
Lissawa backdoor cut.
They get
Clean
some
finish.
rest with a big margin here. That could prove to be invaluable as well.
Yeah, what a shaky start for the Opals. You open up this competition, prime time, drop your first game to France. There was a lot of uncertainty.
It was, and they were poor. There's no other way to describe it. They were poor in that first game against France. They looked unorganised and on the offensive end and weren't playing at the same level as France on the defensive end, and it was, the worry beads were out and everyone thought that this was going to be a tough tournament for them, but how quickly they turn it around, and that's where you don't have a lot of time, but coach, there she is on screen. Sandy Brondello, who's been around a long time, coached all over the world in Europe, in the WNBA, and of course at the Olympics, and was an unbelievable player herself. Was able to right the ship pretty quickly.
The Opals have won the last 4 contests here in the World Cup. Shot on the wing, off back rim. Jackson had a hand in tipping that out. Delara to Aliman. And we're moving in transition the other way. Blistavs, Jackson, corner. Nearly a botched handoff. Talbot to Jackson. Big dribble, hard take up, and it drops. She's seen these rims a lot here in Sydney.
That's right.
Delara, Messi, taken away.
Played in the Sydney Olympics.
Here we go. Jackson going to work once again. Put back, a miss. Covered the rebound is Billy Messi. If you're just joining us, this is the final quarterfinal of the day. This one's gonna count for Julie Alemand. A chance to add one more on the board for Belgium, but this is the final quarterfinal matchup of the day. 6 games in 8 days for these teams that are still alive in the FIBA Women's World Cup. The winner of this contest will meet up with China tomorrow night in the semifinal. On the other side of that bracket is Team USA and Canada. 2 very important days left in this hunt for a World Cup. Nice stroke by Kayla George. She's got 12.
And that is her strength. She can really hurt you from the perimeter. She's a pick and pop player. Good from mid-range and all the way out to the three-point line.
Magin broke up that play. Jackson turns, shoots, off. Blistavs cleans up on the weak side.
Well, Blitzavs has really stood up in this huge game, got the starting role. She just called for a sub. She's a little fatigued, but the work she's doing on the glass and the way in which she can get to the rim. And there's the help. Good rotation from the weak side that time coming from Blitzavs. Having her best game of the tournament when it's counted the most. Ten points, and Annalie Mailey going to get some time. And a big round of applause and appreciation for the work of Blitzavs.
10 points, 8 rebounds, an assist in there. I think she deserves a breather. Wallace running the offense now for the Opals. No look pass was intended for Jackson. And just over 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. George, three-point line, miss. Hitting the deck is Ben Abdelkader.
That's the sort of desperation you need when your tournament's on the line. Love to see him getting down and dirty, diving on the boards. Look at this, getting after it. Ooh.
Her and Tess Magin there.
Looked like it came off Ben Abdelkader on that one, off that angle.
Van Loo smothered, Messi drives, kicks it. Ben Abdelkader thrusting that up as the shot clock expired. Wallace driving left, the kick to Jackson. The crowd really wants that one to go in. And a collision between Van Loo and Magin. Magin just flying all over the floor right now.
Well, it is. That level of desperation, it's infectious. You see your teammate get down and prepared to sacrifice the body. It's Magin who trying to get after that bit of a lob pass. Needed that, have a little bit more zip on that pass in order to get there.
Delara with the rock for Belgium. Ben Abdelkader, the first look she's gotten, and she makes him pay. Wallace, Jackson. Linskin's got knocked in the face during that transaction. Messi going to work against George on the block. George spotted her and took it away. What a block by George.
Ooh. This has got a hint of unsportsmanlike about it as well. Are they going to review it? Here we see the block. Well read. And they're in the bonus anyway, so it's going to lead to two free throws for Christy Wallace anyway. And Lauren Jackson checks out of the game. Here's Magbagor coming back in. Look at the smiles. Love it. Lauren Jackson wasn't coming back to make the quarterfinals. She wasn't putting her body through all this torment just to mess around with an honourable loss in the quarters. She's here for some hardware. She knows nothing else. 3 silvers along the journey, a gold World Cup. A couple of bronzes in the World Cup. Bronze at the London Games.
And obviously part of that 2006 FIBA World Cup championship team.
With her teammates coming together in a wonderful presentation they made at luncheon they had yesterday with all the officials from Australia, included all the members of the teams that was available. Apparently 9 of the 12 team members were there. A very emotional time reflecting on the greatness, a historic moment in Australian basketball 2006.
They had also 2 special, very special guests of the 1957 team. The first appearance that the Opals made in the World Cup.
And if I'm not mistaken, the great Tony Gaze, my uncle, was the coach of that team.
Let's call him up. Imagine a way to close out the quarter for Australia. They are red hot, and they are a quarter away from sealing their bid to the semifinals. It's 72-48 at the end of the third quarter.
And it's a little unexpected, the size of this margin. I think most people thought Australia was going to have the advantage, but not as comfortable as what we've seen here. And of course, there are some asterisks next to this Belgium team without their superstar Emma Misseman, who is one of the greatest players in the world as we speak, and who is having an interesting tournament. She averaged almost 27 points a game at the Tokyo Olympics, Messerman, but at this one was only had the 6. She was right up there in assists and rebounds, but struggling a little bit from the field. And there's Kayla George. That is a tough shot, fading away from the basket. A contested mid-range shot. Really tough to look really easy. And there right there in Sarah Blitzavs is one of the unsung heroes of this contest. Provided a whole bunch of energy, the penetration, the running of the floor, the rebounding, and the unselfishness of Blitzarv has been on show here this evening. And right now, it's about pride for Belgium. And they win a quarter. They got to try and forget about the score. Held to 11 points in that quarter, outscored by 9, 20-11. They haven't won a quarter yet. A little bit better on the defensive end. They gave up 26 in both the first and the second, only 20 in the third. And there's an offensive weapon that they can look to get the ball to in Ben Abdelkader.
So they've got 24 points to make up in 10 minutes, Andrew. If they want a chance of sticking around.
Well, strange things have happened. I don't know if it's been this strange where you come back from this type of deficit, but I'm sure they're going to go out swinging, and they're not going to concede and play as hard as they possibly can.
Meili gets stripped. And here comes Belgium. Van Loo, after some further instructions from Demery, Coach Demery. Ben Abdelkader, the kick. Linskens draws the three. She drills it.
She's very stoic in the way she plays. Doesn't show a lot of emotion, but boy, can she shoot. Really spreads the floor for a big. To have a 4 or 5 that can make perimeter shots like that with so much on-ball action going on is a real asset in modern basketball.
McGregor fighting down on the block. Van Loo's gonna put the contact on her. Look at the battle.
There you see, she just hooked her. Had that right arm and hooked McGregor down low.
That was Van Loo's second, the team's first this quarter. So the Opals get a fresh shot clock. Meili looking. Tolo will take it in. Nothing there. Linskin's all over her. And recovers the rebound too. Wallace all over Van Loo. Little separation here. Off 1 foot, the kick to Ben Abdelkader. Pull-up jumper elbow. Misses, goes after her own rebound. It'll be Australia ball. And blitz arms, and Wickham step back on. Wallace and Meili.
Yeah, I dare say that Sandy Brondello, she wants to try and next 2 or 3 minutes extend this lead, and then time to rest some of your starters for another huge game against a very strong China team. They were impressive in the game before this one against France. They had the battle for it.
Nous derrière, on fait triangle, Julie, Becky et Kiki. Ok? Ça marche? Attention, elle est peut-être un petit peu sous la 19, elle peut shooter, donc sur elle, il ne faudra pas hésiter à monter un peu. Je vous rappelle, on fait les ice là, on change sur ces écrans-là. Ok? Et on essaye de ne pas prendre de panier dans le cœur de notre triangle. C'est bon? Allez! 1, 2, 3.
Over 84 fans here inside the Sydney Superdome to see the Opals take on Belgium here in the quarterfinals. And the home Opals have not disappointed through 3 quarters.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the 2006 Opals.
Wickham with the ball. McGregor driving right, the dish. Couple dribbles for Tolo, decides to go for the hook. We're moving with Alaman. Van Loo, 3-ball. Yes, nothing but nylon for Van Loo.
And you can see why Australia focused in on her as someone that you must stop. She can get going and really light it up from the three-point line.
McMagor goes up on 2, feeds the cutter. That was knocked away by Linskens. Van Loo strips the ball right out of McMagor's hands. The feed, finish, Alaman.
Well, that hasn't gone to plan for Sandy Brondello. And like I said, Belgium, they got a lot of pride and they've continued to battle away. And now the lead's been reduced to 16.
Australia takes a timeout. I think we're going to be able to listen in here.
And they're the type of plays that Belgium need to get going if they are going to eat into this lead and transition, find a way to pick up some cheap baskets, knock down a few 3-balls, get it to a point where you give a chance for Australia to get nervous. And that's just figuring out a way to get it in those single digits, and who knows, miracles can happen.
7.5 to play. The lead cut to 16. Talbot strokes it, to miss. Kicked out. And the Opals will get to reset. McMagor off the elbow. Does not go down. So the Cats set up. Van Loo behind the screen. Linskens on the roll. Misses.
The rim protector. McMagor coming from the weak side. Well read.
And a hard foul not to call here at mid-court.
They bring George back in just for a little bit more offense. Taylor George has been really efficient, 12 points.
And she spots up and shoots right away. Alaman with the kick to Van Loo. Tipped away. George with the great hands reading the pass. The Opals' 4th steal today. That feed interrupted.
Just a little lull in proceedings for the Opals. Scoring's dried up the last couple of minutes. In fact, yet to score, been outscored 8-0 in the 4th.
Alaman laying on the left, in and out. Talbot setting up the half-court offense here. Kick ball, Linskens.
That'll reset the shot clock to 14. Australia in no hurry on the offensive end the last couple of possessions. Their clock's their friend. Don't want to go too negative, though. Sometimes you start thinking about just easing the game home. It gives your opponent a chance.
George, beautiful take on the baseline.
How good is she with those floaters? Fading away, that time fading to her left, and just real good touch.
George has 14 points and has been instant offense here as of late. Alaman, Talbot on the floor. Shot by Ben Abdelkader. It hits.
Now you're going to start thinking about it a little bit.
15-point lead for the Opals. Weak side rebound, put back good. Earning her keep, Sarah Blitzab.
All the bigs were above the free throw line. Messi and Linskens.
Van Loo going strong at Wickham. Nothing there. George, three-pointer.
Killer.
And that feels like a dagger, Andrew.
If there was any remote sense of some type of miracle happening, it has been blown away by that three ball by Kayla George.
She came off the bench and has been extremely effective. 17 points for the Opals.
And let's not forget about the 7 boards to go along with that 7 points. Her and Blitzarves have been the main drivers. And all the bigs. Mariana Tolo also with the 13 points and 6 boards. Got great value from their bigs.
C'était bien sinon la double boîte. L'articulation était bonne, on a gagné des ballons, on a pu jouer vite. Okay. Soyez rigoureux dans les systèmes. Faites-moi les bons écrans. Accélérez le rythme des sorties. Okay. Allez, let's go. Allez, on va aller chercher haut, on est en homme. Allez, 1, 2, 3. Allez, go.
Australia doubling up its production on the rebounds tonight. Look at those numbers.
Yeah, they're impressive, and they set the tone. 26 was the most they've had in a quarter, and they had that in the entire tournament. They had that in the first quarter, and then they backed it up in the second. So they started out and really set the tone for the game of what they were able to do. It's taken a little while for Belgium to figure out what to do on the defensive end. There's Beck Allen, who played just the 3 minutes, but at least she got some time out there. And maybe called on tomorrow if she can. She'll clearly be better for the run.
Alaman, back-to-back 3 balls for Belgium. More from her and Ben Abdelkader are needed to keep their hopes alive here at the World Cup. Jump ball, Belgium ball.
They're going to get it back with a little possession arrow.
Abdelkader, Messi on the run. She's pushed. $17-point deficit the Belgian Cats find themselves in. They trailed by as many as 24 to Australia. And the clock keeps winding down.
There's the start for the Cats, the Belgian Cats.
Emma Misaman, the captain, on the bench with a calf injury as Messi misses both free throws. Wickham flying down court. George for the screen. Magin feeds her back. Turn around, floater, fade away, opposite side.
I'm not sure she actually leaves the floor. Barely any lift from the legs, but just great touch with the hands.
Alaman. Wickham to George on the block.
Oh.
The feed to Jackson. Wow! These women are feeling it.
Well, they are, and the passing. Ella George is just putting on a show on how to work that low post. Bit of a dying art in the game these days. We don't see a lot of low post action, but a little step away this time, the closeout, and the vision. Just a beautiful pass to find Lauren Jackson. And Sammy Whitcomb checks out of the game. And Sandy Brundello would be hoping that she does not have to bring her back in the game. And Darcy Garvin, who's played a lot in critical moments the last couple of games, seeing her first action.
Jackson steps off as well. The 21-point lead for the Opals, under 3 to play. Ben Abdelkader, turnaround jumper short. And Wallace and company here are likely to finish out this contest for the Opals. He didn't need Beck Allen today, so another day of rest for their leader before they get ready to play China in the semifinals tomorrow. Tess Magin delivers the foul there. The captain of the Opal squad.
Haley coming back in. And another good hand for Whitsoe. It's good to see the fans recognising her contribution.
Vermette. Eliza Vermette goes right through the gut for 2.
And as good as the Opals have been the last few games, they're going to have to take it to another level in less than 24 hours if they're going to beat China.
Yeah, you think about that game, Andrew. How do the two compare?
Well, this one hasn't had the same level of competitiveness. Imagine with a wide open, kick out pass, knocks down the 3. But much more physically demanding the game before this. And China are forced to stay with their stars a lot longer than what the Opals have had to do.
Listwell with the long 2. Maley there for the rebound.
That's her calling card. She is an incredible rebounder.
And a whistle, another for Ben Abdelkader. 1:15 to play. The host nation will be moving on. Look at the excitement and emotion here.
That's right.
On Lauren Jackson's face.
The other thing they're going to have to deal with China outside of the United States, I don't know of it. In fact, there is no other team that pushes the ball down the floor as quick as what China does. And they've got inside, they've got outside. There's not a lot wrong, or not a lot of weak spots that you can identify with Team China.
Maley calls for it, spot up 3. It's off. Garvin tracks it down, taken away by Messi. And Wallace tangled up as she had a sniff on that.
Wallace is another good story with her pathway here. A couple of years ago, 3 years ago I think it was, she had to have a knee reconstruction, was out of the game for 12 months, and to fight her way back into it.
Ben Abdelkader will add another 3 on the board, but too little, too late for Belgium. George. And Belgium here taking their time, moving up court. Some final chance for the Belgian Cats in their run here at the FIBA Women's World Cup. Abdelkader, head down. Jumper's good. Man, to think if you would have put her in sooner, maybe this would have been a different game.
Well, she's been good. The start, she's gone out of the game now, but you can see why she's a dangerous proposition. She can score in a bunch of different ways, and that's going to do it.
Wallace dribbles this one out. The fans are on their feet, and the Opals will find themselves in a medal matchup against China. They will be advancing to the FIBA Women's World Cup semis. They defeat Belgium 86-69.
Well, Sammy Wickham was outstanding in the way in which she ran the team when the game was on the line, but this was a game that was dominated by the Opals bigs. Mariana Tolo, Taylor George, Sarah Blickavs, and although Ezzy Magbegor didn't do a whole lot from a scoring standpoint, she still was dominant on the boards. The Opals bigs really dominated the Belgian bigs and was the catalyst to their win. Tolo, George and Blitzavs all in double figures, along with the great one, Lauren Jackson, who had 12.
This Opal squad has now won 5 straight in a row. They clap it up and thank their fans and respect Lauren Jackson, the first one to make her mark to some of her former teammates.
Yep, giving Christy Harrow a hug. She was the point guard in that 2016, and the joy that's being shared of getting to this point is not easy. They had the toughest pool, and they gave a head start with that loss to France, but great character and pride in the way in which they've gone about it. And they also don't underestimate the loss of Beck Allen as well. You see the stats, and it's the rebound. I told you the bigs dominated, but 48-23 on the glass. LJ and Kayla George. And they've got to go through their warm down because it's a very quick turnaround that they have to deal with. Tess Madgen from the perimeter. And you see in those examples there, the ball movement, the way they can swing it around the horn and give up good shots for even better shots. Linskin's tried her heart out. She's been a warrior for the Cats, but wasn't able to get them over the line. Had the 13 points, and Julie Aliman was their leading scorer with the 15. And it just wore them down. It's hard. A lot of games in a very short period of time. It's, I think, started to show when you lose such an important player like Emma Miesemann. It's very hard to make that up. And tonight, it's her loss stuck out.
Yeah, in fact, when the last time these two teams met in the Olympics in Tokyo, Miesemann had 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. That's a lot to make up for.
It is, and if you go back to the Olympic Games, she's averaging 27 a game. I mean, outrageous numbers.
But Australia came out. They jumped out to an early lead, took care of business here inside the Sydney Superdome, and they didn't look back.
No, it was a nervous start to get them going, and they trailed it by 4 or 6 early on, but their defense cranked up, and they created their offense from their defense. 26 points in the first and the second. As I said, that was their highest quarter scores, and they were able to do that back-to-back in the most important game of the tournament so far. This was lose or go home. There was no second chances, and they got the win.
They deserve every bit of this celebration. It is the Opals that secure their spot against China in the other semifinals. So victorious here in the quarters: USA, Canada, China, and of course, Australia. Everybody else on this screen, they're headed home.
Ta-da. They've battled hard, and an accomplishment just to get that far to the quarterfinals.
And so here's the current picture at the road to the gold medal game. Australia, China will face off tomorrow in the late game, and we'll see Canada, USA at 5 o'clock.
And there's a lot of different teams and a lot of different stories, but ultimately, I think the 4 best teams got there.
For Andrew Gaze and the entire FIBA broadcast crew, I'm Despina Barton. We say goodbye and good night for now from the Sydney Superdome. The host Opals seal their ticket to the World Cup semifinal. Final score, Australia 86, Belgium 69.